Hi everybody, we're ready for some more math today, and today we're going to do some geometry and we're going to mix in a little bit of algebra today. So yesterday we did a lesson on adjacent angles and vertical angles, and so today we're going to use those two ideas to find missing angles in a picture. Okay, so it says we're going to tell whether the angles first are adjacent or vertical and then find the value of x. And these are the notes that you could have printed off of my e-board, or you can follow along on a piece of paper with me. Okay, so the first one, if we look at the angles that have writing in them, we're looking at this top angle here and this bottom angle here from these intersecting lines. And so when they are opposite of each other like this, then they are called vertical angles. And so I always look at the picture and you can see there's a V here and an upside down V here. They're opposite of each other. They're verticals. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to solve for that x right there. This one is 7x plus 16. This one is 128. Now when you're dealing with vertical angles, there's one thing that we found out was true, and that is that they are congruent, meaning that they have the same measurement. So this one up here is actually 128 degrees also. So we can write this, 7x plus 16, which is the top angle, is equal to 128. And now we have a two-step equation we can solve for x. So let's go over here to the side where the variable is. Let's subtract out the 16 from both sides. Bring down your 7x equals, subtract 128 minus 16, we get 112. And then our second step is to divide by 7. And on my trusty calculator here, 112 divided by 7, x equals 16. Now we can also go back and check our math. We can put that 16 right here where the x is, and do 7 times 16 plus 16, and we should get 128. And if you put that in your calculator, you do. And so we know that we are correct. X is 16. Okay, moving over to number 11. Again, we're going to look at the relationship between the two angles. These two angles are sitting side by side. They're sharing a side right here, and so they are adjacent. Remember, adjacent, they're sitting side by side. It doesn't really tell us anything about their sizes, but when we look at the picture, if we put this angle together with this angle, they would create this large angle, which right here tells us is 90 degrees. Okay, and so when we put two things together, that means we're going to add them. So I'm going to take the 10x minus 1, and I'm going to add 31. And together they equal 90 degrees. Here's the bottom angle. I added the top angle. Together they're 90 degrees. Okay, so let's combine like terms. We don't have any other x's, but -1 plus positive 31, that equals 30. And now we're back to a two-step equation. Subtract 30 from both sides. Bring down your 10x equals, subtract, you get 60. And divide by 10, and in this case x equals 6. Okay, and again I can take my calculator and I can put that 6 back up here where the x is. 10 times 6 minus 1 is 59. 59 plus 31 equals 90. So that is a true statement. So x is equal to 6. Okay, number 12, looking at our picture. We have this large angle here and this small angle here, and it looks like they're sitting side by side. They're sharing this side here, so these are adjacent angles. And again, that doesn't tell us anything about their measurement, but when I put the two angles together, if I add this 27 to this big angle over here, it creates this straight line right here, which is 180 degrees. So we know that if we take the 8x plus 9, that big angle, and add it to the 27, the small angle, together they equal 180. Okay, so let's combine like terms. So nothing to combine the 8x with. 9 plus 27 is 36. And now we have a two-step equation. So subtract out 36, bring down your 8x equals, and subtract, and we get 144. Now I'm going to divide by 8, and when I put that in my calculator, it says 144 divided by 8 is 18. So in this instance, x equals 18. Okay, and again, I could go back to my calculator, put in an 18 right here. 8 times 18 plus 9 plus 27 equals 180. That's a check. Number 13. Number 13, if we look at the angles that are labeled here with numbers, they are not sharing a side, they're only sharing this vertex in the middle. So you can see that V and that V opposite of each other. These are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. They're equal to each other. So I could say 7x minus 8 equals 48 because they're equal to each other. I have another two-step equation. Add 8 to both sides. 7x equals 56. Divide by 7. X equals 8. Okay, and so if I go back up here, put my 8 in here, 56 minus 8 equals 48, and so they are equal when x is 8. All right, number 14. Number 14, if we look at their relationship, it looks like they're sharing this side. They're sitting side by side, so they are adjacent. Okay, and if we look at adding this angle to this angle, they create this straight line that's going here. So that's 180 degrees, a straight line. And so we're going to add those together. 6x plus 3, there's one angle, plus 7x minus 44. Together, they equal 180 degrees. Combine like terms, so I combine my x's, I get 13x. Combine 3 and negative 44, I get a negative 41 equals 180. And there we are at our two-step equation. Add 41, add 41, 13x equals, add these together, you get 221. Divide out the 13. And my calculator says 221 divided by 13 is 17. Okay, and so if I put that 17 back in for x and for x, and I combine all these, I should get 180. And the last one, looking at the picture, we've got this angle and this angle. Looks like they're side by side, so they are adjacent. But it looks like when I put this smaller angle with this larger angle, they create this angle right here, which is a 90-degree angle. And so we're going to add the angles together. 5x minus 1, there's the smaller angle, plus the 14x minus 4, and together they equal 90 degrees. Okay, so let's solve that equation. Combine your x's, that will give us 19x. A negative 1 and a negative 4 makes a negative 5. And there we are at a two-step equation. Add 5, and 19x equals 95. Divide out the 19. And my calculator says 95 divided by 19 equals 5. And then when I go back and I put that 5 in for x, and I put that 5 in for x, and I combine those, I should get 90. And so using that idea of adjacent and vertical gives us information that can help us solve algebraic problems involving geometry.